1. You're driving in a slow-moving queue of traffic. What should you do just before changing lane? Change down to first gear. Give a slowing down arm signal. Look for motorcyclists filtering through the traffic. Sound the horn and flash your lights. Correct answer. Look for motorcyclists filtering through the traffic. Explanation. In queuing traffic, motorcyclists could be passing you on either side. Use your mirrors and check your blind area before changing lanes or changing direction. 2. You're waiting at a T-junction. What should you do if a vehicle is coming from the right, with its left indicator flashing? Move out and accelerate hard. Move out slowly. Pull out before the vehicle reaches the junction. Wait until the vehicle starts to turn in. Correct answer. Wait until the vehicle starts to turn in. Explanation. Other road users may give misleading signals. When you're waiting at a junction, don't emerge until you're sure of their intentions. 3. What should you do if your vehicle has a puncture on a motorway? Drive slowly to the next service area to get assistance. Pull up on the hard shoulder or in an emergency refuge area and call for assistance. Pull up on the hard shoulder or in an emergency refuge area. Change the wheel as quickly as possible. Switch on your hazard warning lights. Stop in your lane. Correct answer. Pull up on the hard shoulder or in an emergency refuge area and call for assistance. Explanation. Pull up on the hard shoulder or in an emergency refuge area and call for assistance. Don't attempt to repair your vehicle while it's on the hard shoulder, because of the risk posed by traffic passing at high speeds. 4. You're driving along a country road. You see this sign. What should you do after dealing safely with the hazard? Accelerate briskly. Check your tire pressures. Switch on your hazard warning lights. Test your brakes. Correct answer. Test your brakes. Explanation. If your brakes have been thoroughly soaked, you should check that they are working properly before you build up speed again. Before you do this, remember to check your mirrors and consider what's behind you. 5. When would you increase the pressure in your tires so that it's above the normal value? When carrying a heavy load. When the roads are slippery. When the tire tread is worn below 2 mm. When the vehicle is fitted with anti-lock brakes. Correct answer. When carrying a heavy load. Explanation. Check the vehicle handbook. This should give you guidance on the correct tire pressures for your vehicle and when you may need to adjust them. If you're carrying a heavy load, you may need to adjust the headlights as well. Most cars have a switch on the dashboard to do this. 6. What will happen if your car's wheels are unbalanced? The brakes will fail. The steering will pull to one side. The steering will vibrate. The tires will deflate. Correct answer. The steering will vibrate. Explanation. If your wheels are out of balance, it will cause the steering to vibrate at certain speeds. This isn't a fault that will put itself right, so take your vehicle to a garage or tire fitter to have the wheels rebalaced. 7. How can you use your vehicle's engine to control your speed? By changing to a higher gear. By changing to a lower gear. By selecting neutral. By selecting reverse gear. Correct answer. By changing to a lower gear. Explanation. You should brake and slow down before selecting a lower gear. The gear can then be used to keep the speed low and help you control the vehicle. This is particularly helpful on long downhill stretches, where brake fade can occur if the brakes overheat. 8. What should you do when leaving your vehicle parked and unattended? Leave the left indicator on. Lock it and remove the key. Park in a housing estate. Park near a busy junction. Correct answer. Lock it and remove the key. Explanation: an unlocked car is an open invitation to thieves. Leaving the keys in the ignition not only makes your car easy to steal but could also invalidate your insurance. 9. You're driving on a motorway at night. Which lights should you have on if there are other vehicles just ahead of you? Dipped headlights, front fog lights, main beam headlights, side lights only. Correct answer: dipped headlights. Explanation: if you're driving behind other traffic on the motorway at night, use dipped headlights. Main beam headlights will dazzle the other drivers. Your headlight's dipped beam should fall short of the vehicle in front. 10. You're driving on the motorway. Which lane should you get into well before you reach your exit? The hard shoulder, the left-hand lane, the middle lane, the right-hand lane. Correct answer: the left-hand lane. Explanation: you'll see the first advance direction sign 1 mile from a motorway exit. If you're traveling at 60 miles per hour in the right-hand lane, you'll only have about 50 seconds before you reach the countdown markers. There'll be another sign at the half-mile point. Don't cut across lanes of traffic at the last moment. Move to the left-hand lane in good time. 11. What must you do if your eyesight has become very poor and you're no longer able to meet the driver's eyesight requirements? Tell the driver licensing authority. Tell the police. Tell your doctor. Tell your optician. Correct answer: tell the driver licensing authority. Explanation: having very poor eyesight will have a serious effect on your ability to drive safely. If you can't meet the driver's eyesight requirements, you must tell DVLA, or DVA in Northern Ireland. 12. Why should drivers be more careful on roads where trams also operate? Because trams can't steer to avoid obstructions. Because trams can't stop for cars. Because trams don't have a horn. Because trams don't have lights. Correct answer: because trams can't steer to avoid obstructions. Explanation: you should take extra care when you first encounter trams. You'll have to get used to dealing with a different traffic system. Be aware that trams can accelerate and travel very quickly, and they can't change direction to avoid obstructions. 13. What should you do when you leave your car unattended for a few minutes? Leave the engine running. Lock it and remove the key. Park near a traffic warden. Switch the engine off but leave the key in. Correct answer: lock it and remove the key. Explanation: always switch off the engine, remove the key and lock your car, even if you're only leaving it for a few minutes. 14. What should you do to reduce the risk of your vehicle catching fire? Avoid driving with a full tank of fuel. Check out any strong smell of fuel. Keep water levels above maximum. Use fuel additives. Correct answer: check out any strong smell of fuel. Explanation: the fuel in your vehicle can be a dangerous fire hazard. If you smell fuel, check out where it's coming from. Never use a naked flame near the vehicle if you can smell fuel. Smoke when refueling your vehicle. 15. You're driving a car that has a diesel engine. What can a loose filler cap on your fuel tank cause? It can improve your vehicle's fuel consumption. It can increase the level of exhaust emissions. It can make the engine difficult to start. It can make the road slippery for other road users. Correct answer: it can make the road slippery for other road users. Explanation: diesel fuel can spill out if your filler cap isn't secured properly. This is most likely to occur on bends, junctions and roundabouts, where it will make the road slippery, especially if it's wet. At the end of a spell of dry weather, road surfaces may be especially slippery where diesel has been spilled but it hasn't been washed away by rain. 16. You're driving past parked cars. What should you do if you see a bicycle wheel sticking out between the cars? Accelerate past quickly and sound your horn. Brake sharply and flash your headlights. Slow down and be prepared to stop for a cyclist. Slow down and wave the cyclist across. Correct answer: slow down and be prepared to stop for a cyclist. Explanation: scan the road as you drive. Try to anticipate hazards by being aware of the places where they're likely to occur. You'll then be able to react in good time. 17. What would you expect to find at a contraflow system on a motorway? Lower speed limits, road humps, temporary traffic lights, wider lanes than normal. Correct answer: lower speed limits. Explanation: when approaching a contraflow system, reduce speed in good time and obey all speed limits. You may be traveling in a narrower lane than normal, with no permanent barrier between you and the oncoming traffic. Be aware that the hard shoulder may be used for traffic and the road ahead could be obstructed by slow-moving or broken-down vehicles. 18. Are passengers allowed to ride in a caravan that's being towed? No, not at any time. Only if a stabilizer is fitted. Only if all the seats in the towing vehicle are full. Yes, if they are over 14. Correct answer: no, not at any time. Explanation: riding in a towed caravan is highly dangerous. The safety of the entire unit is dependent on the stability of the trailer. Moving passengers would make the caravan unstable and could cause loss of control. 19. Which driving technique can help you save fuel? Accelerating sharply in each gear. Missing out some gears. Using each gear in turn. Using lower gears as often as possible. Correct answer: missing out some gears. Explanation: missing out intermediate gears, when appropriate, helps to reduce the amount of time spent accelerating and decelerating the times when your vehicle uses the most fuel. 20. You're leaving your vehicle parked on a road and unattended. When may you leave the engine running? If the battery keeps going flat. If you'll be parking for less than 5 minutes. Never if you're away from the vehicle. When parked in a 20 miles per hour zone. Correct answer: never if you're away from the vehicle. Explanation: when you leave your vehicle parked on a road, switch off the engine and secure the vehicle. Make sure no valuables are visible, shut all the windows, lock the vehicle, and set the alarm if the vehicle has one.